Welcome to Venture in Time and Space YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about the Ninth Doctor, who came on our airways in 2005 by Russell T Davies. The actor who played him was Christopher Eccleston. I am going to discuss some of the episodes and give you my insight on the Doctor. When we first meet the Doctor, he was cold, rigid, emotionless. He just came out of the Time War. What do you expect? The first episode of the Ninth Doctor is Rose. Rose just got done with her shift and the store's closing. She was going down to meet the janitor to give him his money, from the lottery and stuff that they did, and that he won. She goes down to the basement and she sees these plastic mannequins starting to come alive and come towards her. The Doctor ends up grabbing her arm and says, "Run!" And they run and they finally make it to the door that goes outside. He takes up here, he opens the door, tells her that she needs to get out of her, showing the device. He says, "It's going to be explosive. I may not survive." And then shuts the door. And she's standing there. And he opens the door. "Oh, by the way, I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?" "Rose." "Run for your life, Rose." And he shuts the door. And then the building explodes. Later on, basically, they get to the part in the episode where they end up destroying the Nestle, which is the entity that gives the living plastic life. They destroy it. Then he offers Rose a trip of a lifetime in the TARDIS. She refuses, but then turns around and changes her mind. She's like, "What the heck? I want to see what else is out there." So he then takes her to the end of the world. There's on this spaceship, ship or whatever you call it, hard to explain, and they're standing there, and it's no one else is there. And then the guy comes up and sees him there with Rose, and then the Doctor pulls out his psychic paper that shows him that I'm a guest and this is my +1. And the blue guy says, "Oh, okay," and then they start meeting the other aliens, and then we have Cassandra. Moisturize me. Basically, she's the last human, and she's just a piece of skin with a face, and then has a voice to it. Which is like, how can that happen? Well, eventually, she is trying to sabotage the spaceship, this, thing. And apparently, the Doctor saves all the people in there. And eventually they leave after they save the day. And then the next episode is a Dalek. They end up in this museum that has all these unique things. And the guy that has them gets to meet the Doctor. And he tells them that there's one thing in his collection he has. They go in, and the Doctor walks into this dark room. And it's a Dalek. He starts talking to her and saying stuff to her. After it, makes noise, after it says, "Doctor, Doctor." And after that, then he realizes whenever it has life in it, scares the Doctor. And you see the fear in the Doctor's eyes. Well, later Rose meets up and sees the Dalek as well. She says that she has a friend who would help them, to help the Dalek. She touches it. Through her genetic touch, the Dalek ends up coming to life. I mean, literally the light. The change breaks and it starts moving and, moves along. Well, later on, when the Dalek wants its instructions, and they said that you're the last of the kind, you're not going to get any instructions. That's when the Dalek commands that Rose, order his destruction. Well, she didn't want to. You could see in her. Well, she did. She said, gave him that order. The thing opens up, and you see this creature, and there's light shining up above the roof, all the way down. And then the Dalek destroys himself. It's just poop. Basically what I mean poop. It's like there's no shell, no nothing. It's just obliterated, basically. The next one is called Father's Day. Now, this is a very touching episode. And the thing of it is Rose says, I like to see my father. I like to get a chance to see him. Because her father died when she was just a baby. She never grew up knowing only what her mother told her. Well, they go back and he gets killed. And the doctor says, run to him so she can be with him when he dies. And I don't know what happens. She doesn't go to him. And eventually another part of them came, because you can't have, nurse or people and the same people, twice in one time. The second time they came, she ran after him and saved his life. He was going to a wedding and this car was going to hit him. She saves him. And apparently that's when time got messed up. Because there is a point in time stuff is supposed to happen. It cannot be changed. So they end up going into church, but before that, her and the doctor have an argument. He went one way, she went with her father. After that, he goes to the wedding and takes Rose with him. We also see in this episode where the doctor walks up and opens the TARDIS, and there's nothing in the TARDIS. It's not even a TARDIS. It's just it's like a public police box. Just a box. With the doors. And there's nothing in there. No TARDIS, no nothing. So he goes to the church. And basically, these creatures end up coming out after that to clean the wound, as the doctor says later on, that we find out why they're there. Rose sees the baby, which is really her. She goes to reach for it, and the doctor says, no, don't. Later on, she does, and then that's when it all happens. The creatures come in to the church, and the doctor's standing there. And he has the key in, he charges it, and the key is in the TARDIS. Basically, he's standing there to protect the people, and then he is swallowed up by the creatures. All of a sudden, that's when her father realizes that something needs to be done. That's when he went out. He saw that car go by. He walked out and he was seeing that car come. He walks in front and he gets hit by the car, which really tears up Rose watching it. The doctor walks up behind Rose and says, "Go down." She goes to him so she can be with him at his last moment of life. It's touching in a very hurtful way. So that's one episode that means a lot, basically, to me, that I enjoy. The next episode is The Empty Child and Dr. Dance, is a two-parter. This is World War II. The Doctor and Rose in the TARDIS is following this ship type thing, trying to catch it. And it lands on Earth in London, England. They go down there and basically try to find this thing. Rose wanders off and goes this way. He couldn't find her. Then he meets this girl who has all these kids that she feeds. When the air raid goes off, she goes and finds a big fat family that has a hot meal still on there, and they're in the shelter, and she gets it so that she can feed these kids that she takes care of. Then all of a sudden you hear this child going, "Are you my mommy?" Got gas mask on his face. All through this, they're trying to figure out. They go to this hospital. And this is also when we meet Captain Jack Harkness. At this time, he's just Captain Jack. He's just like a regular person. And we meet him, and apparently they escaped. They found the shell of this thing that they were following, and there's a guy there, and she says they want to try to distract him so they can go to this thing. And Captain Jack says, "Well, I'll go. I've been here. I know Algie, whatever his name is. I know, what he likes something." And Bruce is kind of confused when he goes off. And the doctor says, "Whoa, he's a 21st century man. He knows how to dance." And eventually they figure out that it was an ambulance. And they use these things. I think some kind of healing things, like nanos, basically. He takes the girl that gets all these meals to feed all these kids during the air raid thing, stands there, and this kid comes to them. Now the nanos are still in the air. And he's asking, "Are you my mommy?" She wraps her arms around him and says, "Yes, I am your mommy." And the doctor says, "Come on, please, come on. And afterwards, he pulls off the gas mask. Lo and behold, he's like surprised and happy in a way that, this thing. And then he gives these nano or whatever the upgrade. And everybody that has the gas mask that are infused on their face get healed and then he meets Dr. Constantine. and tells him, it says, well, wherever the people came into the hospital, tell them, you know, you were a good doctor and everything. And apparently, Captain Jack pulled up that ship and was taken into outer space to destroy it, or have it destroyed, or whatever. And the thing, or no, the bomb, basically. I think it was the bomb. Sorry, I got confused there. Sorry. The bomb. He takes it to outer space, and he's asking the computer if the ejection and all this, that. And he gets the drink, and all of a sudden, next thing he knows, he hears this music, and the doors of the TARDIS are open. Apparently, the TARDIS is right there, and the doors are open, and they tell him to come in and close the doors because there's going to be a big explosion. And so that's also when we also see that the Ninth Doctor does know how to dance. The last episode that I'm going to talk about is another two-parter. It's called Bad Wolf, The Parting of the Ways. They end up on the space station. It used to be something else, but it has all kinds of games on it. Well, then each of them escaped the different games that they were in. Here's a little bit we know is that the Daleks fleet is masquerading. They don't see it until like later. Well, the Daleks kidnap Rose. Captain Jack and the Doctor go to where the Daleks are to rescue Rose. When they finally rescue Rose, they come back to the space station, and the Doctor was going to use the Delta Wave, along with some equipment, to destroy the Daleks. He sent Rose into the TARDIS to do something to help power up this bomb, to get ready. She's sitting there and she's standing there waiting and waiting and waiting. He closes the door and sends her back. And then he has a holoprojective image explains, says you're probably moaning and groaning. And explain that he's beating an enemy that, he said, I may be dead. This means I'm facing an enemy that I don't want them to get their hands on the TARDIS. Just let this TARDIS scare dust. All that other stuff. She gets home and realizes she's back on Earth. With her mother and Mickey. She is so depressed because she knows up there the Doctor is going to end up getting killed. Well, Mickey uses his car with the chain to try to open up the TARDIS, so open up that one part of the TARDIS so she can look into it. And his car was not strong enough. The chain broke. Well, her mom brings this big old powerful type truck that had chain on it, and they used it to help open the TARDIS so she can look at it. Well, Luba knows it pulled open and popped open this thing where she can look inside the TARDIS. And the TARDIS read her mind, went right back to that space station. The Dalek said the TARDIS is detected. The doors open, and Rose has looked inside the TARDIS, and the TARDIS looked into her. She took the words and created Bad Wolf. She says, I take the words to create, something to remind myself. And then she destroys the Dalek, and she destroys the Emperor. And then she says, I bring light. At this time, Captain Jack got killed by Dalek. And when she says, I bring life, she gives life to Captain Jack Harkness. Apparently now, the man that never dies. At the end, the doctor and her have a conversation. She said her head is killing her. And he says, you need a doctor. He kisses her. The reason why he kissed her is to take the energy of the energy and all that stuff that was from the TARDIS that was in her back into him, and then let the energy go back into the TARDIS. Next thing we know is she's laying on the floor. He's standing there, and she wakes up. She says, I was, saying that she was there, and now she doesn't know. And she said, I heard a noise, and he says, well, I sung and Daleks ran away. And all of a sudden, he started saying, he said, I was going to take you so many places, like the planet Barcelona, and he uses a joke about that. And he says, I may have one head, I may have two heads, I may have no head. They may not be, that may be improvement. And she says, you're not making sense. And he says, I may never make sense. And the one thing he said, Rose, you want to know what? You were fantastic. Simply fantastic. And you know what? So was I. And that's when he regenerated into the 10th Doctor. And then, I'm not going to go, well, basically what we see in that episode is the 10th Doctor showed up, which is played by David Tennant. Come through and he goes, new teeth. He says, oh, Barcelona. And that's where it ends. The insight about this is through the 9th Doctor. First of all, he was not really into feeling emotions, but it is through Rose that she brings a side to him, help him see things differently, and starts to become more compassionate, more caring. Makes him feel, which is sense he just came out of the time warp, and he didn't really have all those emotions because he just lost his people. He destroyed the Daleks and his people just because there was no other way out of it. So Rose brought that side to him. If we look at the companions of all the Doctors, you can know what the companions bring to that Doctor. Rose, simply in the fact, was helping the Doctor see things differently. He was still kind of rigid, you could tell, but she helped him see. It won't take effect until we reach the 10th Doctor. You'll start seeing and noticing things differently. But if you want to watch the 9th Doctor, start with the first episode, Rose, because it's the one that sets the tone. Also, I want to put it out there that there's a friend of mine, online friend. He's a doctor who has Doctor Who groups on Facebook as well. But he also has the TARDISZone YouTube channel. So I want to give a plug out to him because he has a knowing about what's going on. He has sources, but he won't say until he knows, the source, is right. And he says things like it is. So if you've seen this video, please check out his. It's called the TARDIS Zone here on YouTube. And if you like my video, please click the like button and also subscribe so you can see more videos on Doctor Who. And also write down some comments on what you would like me to cover in the Doctors or anything related to Doctor Who that you would like me to make a video of. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and leave your comments. And I hope you enjoy. Bye.